So, right off the heels of talking about this big trade, the Bruins, the Devils, and the Edmonton Oilers swapping around picks and assets and stuff, right after this went down, we had this. The Montreal Canadiens have signed Jake Evans to an extension. He is off the trade market. And I think I speak for a lot of Canadiens fans when I say, holy crap, I'm surprised. I did not think the Montreal Canadiens would be able to sign Jake Evans, much less to a contract that looks like this. $2.85 million a year for 4 years? That is really good. You know, there were reports going around saying, oh, Jake Evans' ask is in the $4 million range. He wants something around there. And that idea was met with some pushback. Montreal fans debating amongst themselves, hey, if Jake Evans is playing on a Stanley Cup championship caliber team, is he a third-line guy or is he a fourth-line guy? I think the majority of fans, it was a slight majority, but the majority of fans were saying, yeah, he's probably like a fourth-line center on a Cup championship caliber team. Maybe a really good third-line center on a bad team, maybe a decent to not even all too guaranteed third-line center on a good team. But for a Stanley Cup contender team, maybe he is a fourth-line guy. And if he's a fourth-line guy, are you going to give a fourth-line guy $4 million a year, especially since, the cap is going up? Do you have the room to start navigating in that territory financially? And a lot of Canadiens fans were still kind of saying no, that's a little bit too much for Jake Evans. But now the real contract comes out, 4 years, so that's pretty good. $2.85 million a year, $11.4 million total. Jake Evans did not get the absolute bag from this contract. Not in terms of the years, not in terms of the AAV, but the important part is he's doing it with Montreal, baby. So that, I think, is a really positive development here. A lot of people going out there and talking about this. He probably would have gotten more on the open market, but Evans really wanted to stay. And we all know that if you want to be somewhere, if you have a preference, then all of a sudden, that leverage that you got, it's a little bit lessened. Because Montreal's like, okay, well, we know you want to be here. We're not giving you 4x4. We're not giving you a $4 million AAV deal. We're going to give you 2.5. And then the agent bounces back, oh, not 2.5, let's do 3.5. And then they're like, no, 2.5. And they're like, okay, 3.25, okay, 2.7, okay, 2.8. And eventually we settle at this dollar amount here. This is what Seravalli went out there and said. They have announced an extension for center Jake Evans, 4 years, $2.85 million. This takes the number 4 player off of our trade targets board, and most importantly, keeps Evans in Montreal for their playoff push, without eliminating their future flexibility. I'll say this right here, Jake Evans, the contract he's on right now sees him making $1.7 million, so he got an increase of about $1.1 million a year, and he's getting 4 years, so the contract takes him till he's 32 years old. This is reasonably good for Evans, but it's really good for the Montreal Canadiens, if we assume, of course, Jake Evans continues providing the very solid play that he has. I mean, he's 1 point away from a career-high year, and he's got 21 games to go on the season. So Evans, despite the fact that he has been a little bit cold as of late, point-producing-wise, he still has been very strong this season. His body of work in the middle part of the year before the turn of the new year was really solid. And of course, the penalty killing, the top-tier camaraderie and compatibility with Joel Armia, it's pretty good for Jake Evans there. So this, of course, is a really good addition for the Canadiens in the next few years. Let's go out there and talk about some of these other tweets. So, Renaud Lavoie went out there and said this: I would have been surprised to see Evans let go. He never mentioned he wanted out, and he signed a deal that is good for both parties. It's obvious that he wants to be a part of the Montreal Canadiens franchise's success. And that, of course, goes to show the dedication that the guy really did have towards the Montreal Canadiens. I think a lot of us have to be respectful of that, man. Habs and Jake Evans' camp renewed talks on Sunday after an extended period without any talks. I think Montreal stuck pretty well to its position, more or less, so Evans, in the end, made the call that he did not want to leave. I'm shocked by this Jake Evans extension. I'm not hating, though. I was just fully expecting him to be traded. Yeah, Me too, NHL watcher. After the comments that Evans made to the media, where he was like, yeah, it was a good run in Montreal. Like, he talked about his time with the Canadiens in the past tense. And a lot of us were like, okay, wait, red flag. Evans, what are you doing here, buddy? Why are you talking about our team in the past tense? Is this a negotiation tactic? In your mind, are you already out of the door there? Is that kind of an indication of the future? And it turns out to be a, what's the word I'm looking for? Bravado? Yeah, kinda, I guess, right? It might have been a negotiation tactic. Anyways, if the guy really did want to stay, then this contract definitely does reflect that. $2.85 million a year for 4 years. Let's go out there and finish off this video by reading the Montreal Canadiens statement on Jake Evans from their website. Thank goodness this is in English and not in French. 4-year contract extension for Jake Evans. The 28-year-old centerman has signed a deal through 2028-2029. Montreal Canadiens GM Kent Hughes announced on Tuesday that the club has agreed to terms on a 4-year contract extension with forward Jake Evans. The deal will pay him an AAV of $2.85 million a year. Evans has played 61 games with the Canadiens this season, recording 12 goals and 16 assists. The 28-year-old center ranks second amongst NHL forwards in shorthanded ice time, averaging .252 per game, and holds a share for third in the league with 3 goals while killing penalties. Evans registered his 100th career NHL point on November 16, 2024, and skated in his 300th NHL game on December 20th, 2024 in Detroit. Since making his debut in 2019-20, Jake Evans has made 329 appearances and produced 120 points, and the Toronto, Ontario native has also tallied 6 game-winning goals, 5 shorthanded goals, and served 113 penalty minutes. In 13 career playoff games with the Canadiens, Evans has produced 3 points. Evans was selected by the Canadiens in the 7th round, 207th overall of the 2014 NHL Draft. And oh, look at this, related content. A new 4-year deal for Jake Evans. This is a video. What in the world is this? Okay, that's a really big close-up of the guy. Is this just a compilation of the best moments of Jake Evans? Yeah, I think it is. It's just a whole bunch of footage, and he is celebrating. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, Jake Evans has signed a contract, everybody, and I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. How do you feel about this deal getting done? How do you feel that he's not going to get traded? For the Montreal Canadiens, they've been winning games and they've been hunting for that wild card, so this definitely does help them out because it's not like you're subtracting one of the best penalty killers in the NHL from the team. So with that in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This is the deal here, 2.85 by 4 years. Is this in line with what you expected Evans to be able to receive for his services? Do you think the Canadiens really got a steal of a contract here? I gotta say, good on Jake Evans for accepting an AAV that's a lot less than his initial ask, but of course, you know, he's still making millions of dollars, so maybe in terms of perspective, it's not really the biggest change. But anyways, thoughts in the comment section below about Jake Evans and the new contract extension. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.